Everything I loved shattered before my eyes. There I stood in that cold courtroom, my chest tight with fear. Those faces, once my friends, felt foreign. They stared, eyes pale and unfeeling. I felt their judgment wrap around me like a noose. My heart raced painfully, each beat echoing in the silence. The judge's gavel struck like thunder. The air was heavy, thick with betrayal. And then there was him, my ex-partner, smirking from the gallery, a dagger lodged deep in my back. I had buried my secrets so carefully, secrets about the corruption that twisted through our lives like a serpent. Yet the weight of their gaze held me captive. An unexpected shuffling interrupted the tense air. A mysterious figure burst in, eyes wide with urgency. "Wait!" they shouted, holding up a device that glinted under the fluorescent lights. My breath caught in my throat. A recording? My mind whirled. "What's that?" Murmurs rippled through the crowd. I could feel the cold sweat trickling down my spine. It could save me or doom me. A cold grip of dread wrapped around my heart. The truth rarely fails to expose something darker. The figure switched it on. Static crackled. Whispers filled the room. Words I never thought would escape into the light. Gasps followed. Shock painted every face. I looked at my ex. The smirk twisted into something darker, something terrifying. What lies were buried there? My mind raced. Would it set me free or unravel everything? The air grew thick again, and all I could hear was my breath, shallow and frantic. Every second stretched, a taut string ready to snap. Silence fell. A dark path loomed ahead. Fear struck me like lightning. Was the truth even worth it? I flicked my gaze around, eyes wide, mouths hanging slightly open. Time stood still. Then came that voice, rough, unyielding, a blade cutting through tension. "What will you do?" In that moment, the ground shifted beneath me. I felt unmoored, a ship swaying in a storm. I was lost, suspended between agony and relief. The truth danced just out of reach. Would I grasp it, or would it pull me under? Before you go on, let me tell you something. A lot of people have been saying that YouTube, out of nowhere, unsubscribes them from the channel. Take a quick look to make sure the red button is on. That way you won't miss any of the videos still to come. And while you're at it, hit the like button, because it really helps me keep bringing you stories like this. Oh, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'd love to know. I wanted to scream. My stomach dropped. A suffocating heat rushed to my face. No, it can't be, I thought, shaking my head. But there it was, the recording, full of whispers from my own mouth. Emails, texts, my voice betraying me. "It was you," whispered someone in the crowd. My eyes locked onto my ex. The smirk faded. He looked terrified. Was it fear or satisfaction? My heart pounded harder. Panic surged. Had I betrayed the very people I wanted to protect? Then the figure at the front spoke. The truth about the corruption. It started with you. My chest tightened. Guilt clawed at my insides. "What do you mean?" I stammered, but it felt like a trap. The silence swallowed any ounce of hope. Every pair of eyes scrutinized me as if I were already guilty. Shadows closed in. Betrayal. The crowd murmured, shifting restlessly. I felt the weight of their judgment. Doubt seeped into everything I believed about myself. How much did they know? Suddenly, I saw it in my ex's eyes, a flicker of truth or revenge. I stumbled back, breathless. The puzzle pieces were shifting, revealing a picture I never wanted to see. And then a voice cut through. "What have you done?" I froze, a question that would hammer at my heart forever. I wanted to answer, but I didn't even know where to begin. I stood frozen, heart racing, throat tight. "What have you done?" echoed in my mind. Suddenly, it hit me. My ex flashed a look, not just anger, something darker. A betrayal. The whispers in the room drowned out my thoughts. "I was protecting you," I wanted to scream. But the truth hung heavy between us. My gut churned, a sickening twist. Had I orchestrated it all? The figure stepped closer, smirking. "You think you're innocent? You're the very heart of this." Panic flooded me. My ex's eyes glimmered with realization, as if he struggled to breathe. "No, it can't be." I staggered back, feeling the air grow thin. Everything stopped. Was I the puppet master of this twisted game? The room shifted, and I felt the weight of every lie I'd told. "Is this a setup?" I questioned, trembling. But no one answered. Silence pressed down. Was I truly the villain in my own story? My mind raced. How could I redeem the pieces of my soul? Just then, the figure leaned closer, their breath hot against my skin. "You had a choice, and you chose wrong." That chilling warning echoed. Would I fall, or could I fight back? A voice in the back shouted, "What's going on?" But that wasn't what mattered. The truth ripped apart my very essence. There was no turning back. I felt every eye on me, filling the air with heavy judgment. I wanted to cry, to scream, but fear enveloped me. What if I really was the monster? Then that phrase pierced my heart. "You can't escape who you are." I stood there, trapped in suffocating silence. Was this the end? Or just the beginning of a nightmare? The crowd held its breath. I could feel the weight of every gaze, like 1,000 lead weights pressing down. My heart raced, each thud echoing in my ears. Then the figure leaned closer, eyes sparkling with a sinister thrill. "You don't remember, do you?" Their voice dripped with malice. "What do you mean?" I whispered, throat dry, panic rising. "Not just your files, your memories," they taunted, smirking cruelly. "You were the one who hired me." A gasp stuttered through the room. I stumbled back, nausea churning in my stomach. "No, no." The reality sank in, warm bile rising. "You're lying," I hissed, but the way everyone stared reinforced my fear. "I have the contracts," the figure said, pulling out a crumpled paper. "Your signature is here, the details all laid out. You orchestrated it all from the start." Shock flooded my veins. My mind raced back. Where were the gaps? What had I forgotten? Cold sweat dripped down my spine. "Please, it can't be." My ex's expression shifted. It morphed from anger to disbelief. "Did you use me?" Their tone was raw, echoing the betrayal. Tears pricked at my eyes. "No, I wanted to protect everyone." "Then why?" he shot back, voice trembling. Every mouth in the courtroom gasped. The air was thick, suffocating. I thought I'd been noble, but now I questioned my entire life. "Answers," someone in the back yelled, but I was still lost in the whirlwind of realization. "Not just secrets." The figure's voice sliced through my thoughts. "You're the villain here." Pain carved itself into my chest. I felt unmoored, untethered from my own story, from who I thought I was. I opened my mouth to plead, but nothing came out. I was undone. "What have you done?" It echoed again, but this time it wasn't just a question. It was a verdict. Panic swirled in the silence. A moment stretched into eternity. I could feel myself unraveling. And just like that, the The truth shadowed me. It clung like a ghost. What was I now? Would I face my sins or bury myself in them? The answer loomed, heavy and choking. Why? I managed, yet no one replied. The weight of their judgment crushed me. The truth twisted deeper. Was redemption even possible anymore? I stood frozen, every eye piercing through. Would they ever trust me again? What if I truly was the monster? The silence screamed. When did everything change? I didn't know. And in that dark void, uncertainty took root. Would I ever escape? Everything stilled. A shiver ran through me, the chill digging deep. My heart pounded. Every beat felt deafening. The figure's eyes sparkled with glee. You have no clue, do you? They taunted again, their voice slicing through air thick with tension. What do you mean? My chest tightened. The walls were closing in. The crowd leaned closer, hunger in their eyes. Your memory, it's faulty. You weren't just involved. They paused for effect. You orchestrated it, true. But do you know who put you up to it? A cold wave crashed over me. What? I barely managed. A smirk grew on their lips. Your sister. She fed you lies. Shock ripped through me. I stumbled, the world spinning. No, not her. Yes, they hissed, relishing the chaos. She betrayed you, just like you betrayed everyone else. A scream bubbled up, but I swallowed it down. My sister? The one person I thought I could trust? The whispers swelled, a cacophony of disbelief. I felt lightheaded, nauseous. The very foundation of my life was crumbling. No, no, I gasped, shaking my head, denial flooding my system. But their gaze was unwavering. Want to hear it again? Listen to the recordings, the ones you don't remember. Panic clawed at my throat. I wanted to scream, to run. But the weight of her betrayal kept me anchored in place, frozen in that moment. I could hear my heartbeat, fast, frantic. Tears burned my eyes. How deeply had I been played? A suffocating silence blanketed the room as disbelief settled in. What now? I whispered, feeling utterly lost. That sinister chuckle echoed in my mind, leaving a dreadful chill. And as I searched the crowd for answers, all I found were shadows of judgment. Could I ever escape the web of lies, or was I destined to drown in it? The room spun. My breaths were shallow, and each heartbeat thudded in my ears. No, not her, I whispered again, but the pit of my stomach churned, a heavy weight of dread. How could she? I thought, the betrayal ripping through my chest like fire. My sister, the one person I trusted. Then a voice rang clear. It's because of her, isn't it? I turned to see my ex, his eyes narrowed. She set you up. The truth crash-landed. I wasn't just the villain. I was a pawn. I staggered back, reeling. You don't know that. But deep inside, doubt twisted its roots tighter. The figure grinned, continuing. You are perfect for the job, too eager to protect. The crowd shifted, a collective gasp followed. I was losing them. But I never meant to hurt anyone. My hands trembled, reaching for something, anything to ground me. There's one more thing. The figure leaned in, voice low. Your sister isn't just a traitor. She's been working with the ones you thought you were fighting against. A wave of nausea crashed over me, and I blanched. No, I managed to choke out. You're wrong. I wish I were, they smirked. She's the mastermind. You were just her unwitting shield. Cries and murmurs erupted in the room. I felt their judgment closing in. I stumbled, despair flooding over me. What now? My heart pounded in my chest. What if everything I believed was a lie? I searched for her face in the crowd, hoping to find solace, but found only betrayal staring back at me. Why? My voice wobbled. Silence swallowed my question. The walls closed in. The truth was a knife, twisting deeper. How could I ever recover from this? I felt my heart stutter as the figure's words sank in. My sister? The world blurred around me. Colors danced, faces twisted. I clutched at my chest, gasping for air. Betrayal pulled me under, suffocating. No. The denial fell from my lips, raw and desperate. My stomach churned, and sharp regret sliced through me. Think back, they urged, their eyes glinting like daggers. Why? Just one word, but it felt like a weight pressing down, suffocating me further. And then it hit. My sister wasn't just my family. She was my rival. The tears spilled over, hot and stinging. Everything was a game to her, I realized, voice trembling. A monstrous laugh erupted from the crowd. My ex looked at me, his expression unreadable. Did you trust her? I could barely manage, shaking. Was any of it real? He turned away, face pale. No answer. I staggered back, heart racing. It was a nightmare, a cataclysm of shattered trust. My sister had played me. I was the naive pawn, twisted up in her web. She left you clues, the figure mocked. You just didn't see. The room held its breath. Confusion wrapped around me like a vice. Why would she do this? I whispered. Sudden silence fell, heavy and dark. And there was that question, echoing, taunting. Would I confront her? Could I bear to look her in the eye? Would trusting her again mean running the risk of further betrayal? My heart thundered, and dread coiled tightly. What else had I missed? The truth was now a monster lurking in the shadows. Was she watching? Did she know what I'd uncovered? Chills crept relentlessly down my spine. The darkness felt alive, whispering, mocking my naivete. What if this was only the beginning? I felt the room's temperature drop. Breath caught in my throat. My sister. The whispers echoed like a haunting melody. No. My hands shook at my sides. The figure continued. She never cared. You were just a tool. I could hardly breathe, the weight of betrayal pressing hard. Tears blurred my vision. But she loved me, I gasped, denying the truth that gnawed at my insides. Loved you? The figure scoffed. You were expendable. She used you to settle debts. A laugh erupted from the crowd. I felt the blood rush to my ears, my head spinning. Everything changed in an instant. Debts? I whispered, the word tasting bitter. My sister's face swam before me. Laughter, memories, all laced with deceit. Open your eyes, the figure urged, and with that, my world cracked. The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating. Even my ex's eyes showed pity. Was I just a pawn in a game I never understood? Panic surged within me. How deep did the betrayal run? And then, was it true? Had I lost her forever? What have I done? The weight of regret twisted my insides. The crowd swirled into darkness. Now nothing made sense. The air was thick with unspoken truths. Could I confront her, knowing what I knew? The thought twisted like a knife. There was no escape. I couldn't breathe. The room spun, a cruel carousel of faces twisted by my realization. My sister. I thought she was with me, a partner in this fight. But betrayal slashed like glass, sharp and deep. No, 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 I whispered, feeling the heat creep up my neck. Didn't you see? The figure sneered, leaning closer, relishing my agony. She was never on your side. My heart raced, thrumming painfully against my ribs. I shook my head, tears spilling over. I have to talk to her. Yet doubt gnawed, unraveling my will. Was there even a way back from this? Suddenly, my hands began to tremble. I could hear my ex murmur to someone nearby, disbelief lacing his tone. Can it be true? Don't you get it? The figure's voice edged into a chilling whisper. She wasn't just setting you up. She wanted you out of the way completely. A cold sweat slicked my skin. Why? I barely managed to croak. Why would she do this? Because she's not just your sister. She's working for them. A storm of thoughts crashed over me. My sister, a traitor. All the love I thought was real, shattered. No, that's impossible, I cried, clutching my head, fighting the tide of despair. The crowd rippled, whispers cascading over each other. I thought she was my ally. How could she? In that moment, every hope I had crumbled. I felt so small, so lost. Had I ever known her at all? Find her, the urgency in my voice echoed, but fell on deaf ears. I needed answers, but was the cost too high? The silence clung to me, heavy and suffocating. What if I confronted her? Would I be putting myself in even deeper peril? Then came that horrible thought. What did I really know about my sister? I was trapped in a web of deceit, and every thread led back to her. Did I want to see her? Or was I afraid she'd confirm my worst fears? The figure leaned in closer, their whisper chilling me to the bone. You can't escape this. And the weight of uncertainty bore down harder as I stood there, lost in the tumult, searching for a way out, wondering if I'd ever find it. I stood there, heart pounding, shattered dreams swirling around me like fallen leaves. The hushed courtroom held its breath, waiting for my next move. I turned to face the figure, those mocking eyes reflecting my confusion. I'll find her, I whispered, each word laced with desperation. I had lost so much, but I wouldn't lose myself. I needed the truth. As the crowd began to disperse, whispers faded into the heavy air. My ex caught my eye, a flicker of understanding passing between us. Two souls lost in this mess, but perhaps not entirely alone. I glanced back, fleeting remorse clawing at my chest. I will uncover the truth, I vowed, clenching my fists. With one last look at the courtroom, feeling the weight of their judgment, I stepped into the unknown, ready to face the ghosts of my past. Now, if you're here for the journey, you need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait any longer to share this with your friends who need to see this conclusion. Press that like button to help the algorithm guide more stories your way. And write your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your theories. If you liked my story, keep going and watch the next one that's appearing now. I think it will move you too.